Hello, everybody. I know I'm not Youthman here, but I'm the next best thing to Youthman. I've been home all summer because I teach and school's been out, so I've been a little, I don't know, bored a lot at home. So today I noticed Youthman here with all this equipment, and I thought it would be fun just to let him know that he's going to share a little bit about this equipment that he uses, but I actually can share too because I know a lot. Because I listen to him all the time.
So we did a video, kind of a collab, not too long ago, and I asked Jessica, just some questions about home theater stuff to see how much she knew. So as I was setting up for this video, she's like, I know what this is, and I know what that is. So I'm like, let's put her to the test again. So I'm gonna let Jessica kind of go through this, what she knows about it, and then I'll just kind of share with you as a content creator, some of the tools that I use, what I like about each thing, and maybe some things that I don't like. So I'm gonna turn it over to you. Go ahead.
Okay. And what's interesting, I do teach second graders, and a lot of kids are like, oh, I want to be YouTubers when I grow up. And then I'm like, hey, this is what my husband does. But so anybody can use this stuff, and he's actually used a lot of this stuff anyways for like our family stuff. So but I'm just going to give you the brief overview, then I'm going to leave so he can do whatever it is that he does in here. But this is called a gimbal. And so if you need to video your family, you just pick this up, and it like holds the cell phone, if you had a cell phone,
True.
Or even a video. And it's nice. So if you have kids or you're doing a family video or a YouTube video, you can do that.
So what's the purpose of a gimbal?
It just makes everything nice and smooth.
Nice and smooth,
yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so this is if you have a little longer video.
So this is for longer videos.
Yes,
okay.
And bigger equipment.
Bigger equipment, yes. So I would imagine that. So
this looks like a charger, and everybody can use a charger here,
okay.
And it has USB cables, your cell phone, all that.
Okay.
This is very handy indeed, because this, if you open this case, it holds all your files.
There you go.
All those things.
So what are those things called?
UCD.
UCDs.
Scan disc
Scan
cards.
discs.
It's basically all the data.
Okay.
Okay.
So where do those go?
I don't know. It goes inside of something.
How about the camera?
Yeah, the
that
camera.
We're recording. That's what I record
exactly.
to.
Yeah, the side of it.
Yep, true.
This right here is very important. It's the microphone, so you can hear, because apparently I'm soft-spoken.
She's very soft-spoken.
But I guess I don't have my teacher voice in the summertime. So anyways, this is a very important. I know he almost lost it one time.
So what kind of microphones are we using? Do you know?
I have no idea, but they're personal.
They're personal.
One-person microphone.
Actually, there's two personals.
Yeah.
So you've got one on and I've got one.
Yes.
So that's the new one. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
And then this is just really, it's a tripod because it has three.
So,
Tri is three. And
so what makes that one different?
Well, because you can go like this.
Oh, and what would you use that for?
I don't know, but you could stick a phone up here and Zoom or do whatever on it.
Okay.
And then, okay, so this is a big tripod. Mm-hmm. So you put your equipment, and this...
like what equipment? What are you putting on that thing?
Your camera.
There you go.
Your camera equipment.
Okay. All right.
And this moves, see?
Okay.
You go like, and this is really nice. I know this is something you were really wanting for a long time.
Sure.
Because, it's supposed to make it smoother in the video, and it can go up, and it can go down. And you know what? I can start helping you record videos.
There you go. You can be behind the camera.
And then you have the lighting, of course, because apparently lighting is very important. I don't understand why, but it is. These little things, they go on to one of these.
Mm-hmm. It could go on
with
top of
a
this.
camera or something, yeah. So that you can move it and stuff. Yep. Okay, so then I'm going to talk to you about, to me, the most important.
What's that over there?
That's a light.
That's a light?
Yeah, it's a light.
Okay, we'll find out later. That is not a light.
Oh, it looks like a light. I may have to watch this video. I usually don't watch his videos, but I'll have to watch this to find out what these really are.
Literally, Jessica's my biggest fan, but she doesn't watch my content, so.
Okay, now this is very important. If you have any type of equipment at all, camera, whatever, you have to have a backpack, okay? And it has compartments, and it's actually, I can even show you, you can put it on.
Demonstrate.
Okay, but while I'm showing you this, you can adjust it and snap it. But believe it or not, this backpack saved his life. Believe it or not, we were walking home or going out to the car from a ski trip, and it was very icy, and we live in Florida, so we're not used to the ice.
Sure.
And so apparently, I think it's called dry ice,
Black ice.
black ice. Okay, we have the sunshine, no snow in Florida, so there's this black ice. So he walks and he slips on this, and it's all pavers, you know, cement. So he slipped. This backpack, he landed on the backpack, and so his head did not bust open.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful.
I'm more concerned about my camera equipment that didn't get destroyed.
So
that was
I was
cool.
really happy that he lived, and his weight, it supported his weight. so even the camera didn't break.
Yeah.
Okay. So backpack. So
super cool.
that is everything here. So I'm very excited.
This right here?
And that's a big light.
Why do you need a big light?
For a bigger area.
Okay.
That's why. Okay. Or no, it makes it soft. Whichever
Ooh,
softness
that's
means.
true.
But I heard that softness
makes
means
a soft
something.
light. The light soft. Very good.
Yeah.
You've learned.
So that's what he's going to be telling you in the YouTube. I feel like my version's pretty short, sweet, and to the point. So I can't wait to watch your version.
My long-winded version.
And see what it is.
Cool. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and appreciate it, Jessica. We're going to go ahead and dive into all this stuff. And I'll just kind of show you, like I said, as a content creator, just some tools that I use. Maybe you're a photographer or want to get into photography. Maybe you're into videography, want to start taking some video footage like I do, or maybe even just want to start a YouTube channel of your own. So I thought maybe just going over some of the equipment that I've used over the past 3.5 years on my channel, some of the things I've upgraded over time, but I figured I would just walk you through each one of those things. So as she mentioned, I did a review on this. This is the I think it's called Fiutech G6 Max, I believe, is the model. I've got a link to it down in the description. This thing is pretty cool. It's definitely on your budget side of things. Like this was probably about $750. This is a Ronin S, and this Fiutech is a lot cheaper, but I needed something that I could use with my cell phone. And so I can attach my cell phone to this. I could do kind of vlog style. I don't have to have this big, heavy one. It does support some smaller cameras like my mirrorless camera. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's definitely kind of on, like I said, the budget-friendly side. But I've got a full review of that. This thing I absolutely love. This is pretty heavy though. DJI Ronin S. This is a huge gimbal. Has really, really big motors. I can control it with my app. A lot of really, really cool features for that. But really, this is for times when when I do home theater tours, I use this a lot. And so if I'm in a room and I'm following somebody around, I want the footage to be really smooth and stable. So the Ronin S has really done a great job of that. I believe there's even a new model this was kind of designed for your bigger, heavier cameras, like your DSLRs, and the new Ronin really is kind of designed for the camera that I'm using, which is what's called a mirrorless camera. But as you can see, there's a huge difference even in the carrying cases here. So when I need something kind of small, lightweight, compact, this has been a great choice. But when I'm out on a video shoot, when I'm doing home theater tours, I use the Ronin. Nothing fancy here. I just picked this up. This is by Anchor. I figure when I'm going to CES in another month, I need something that I can charge my equipment, charge batteries, charge my cell phone. And so I picked this up. I think it's 20,000 milliamps. I wanted something that had a pretty good amount of power that would last a long time. And I can charge quite a bit with that. SD cards, I've got a bunch of them, but honestly, the one that I use the most is the SanDisk Extreme Pro 128 gigabyte. If you're shooting in 4K, 128 gigabyte will give you plenty of space for quite a while. I don't even know if I've ever run out of space shooting a video with just a single 128 gigabyte card. So if you're trying to figure out like, you know, what size card should I get, to me 128 is really good, really affordable, and it's fast enough to be able to support 4K footage. As she mentioned, this little guy here is the, actually I'm gonna hit pause because her microphone is still on. All right, the good news is Jessica actually turned off the microphone, which is pretty cool. Shows that she knows a little bit more than I give her credit for, so appreciate her doing that. Talking about the microphone, I have a Rode Wireless Go version 2. The original version I had for a while, loved the unit, but the thing that I did not like is it only comes with one transmitter. You can purchase a second transmitter, but it's kind of funky how you have to wire it up and get it to sync in your camera. So recently, Rode came out with a Wireless Go version 2, which I absolutely love. I have it connected to a Rode wired, I guess, lapel mic here. You can also run it without the microphone here. It's got a built-in microphone, but what I really like about it is it has two transmitters. And so I could have one, give one to my guest. When I'm doing a home theater tour, we can have a conversation like we did here. And the microphone, I can have that microphone, I think, like up to literally a couple of 100 feet. And the Wireless Go 2 will still receive that transmission. The only thing you don't want to do is like turn around because it will lose the connection there. So, but absolutely love that. I'll also mention all of this stuff. I'm not mentioning all the model numbers, but I'll have them all linked down in the description below. So if you see something that might pique your interest, definitely check those out. So this was pretty cool. I was at Vid Summit a couple years ago, before COVID, and they actually gave this to us. And so it was designed for somebody that likes to vlog. And so the cool thing about this is there's little magnets right here. And so it allows you to easily just kind of flip it around. And so you can vlog with it. So you could put a small mirrorless camera on here. Sony A7 III or something like that. I'm not real familiar with Sony models, but I've got just a little cell phone adapter right here. So I can kind of clamp in my cell phone. And so I use this a lot of times originally when I would do my Patreon videos. So I would hold out my phone camera like this, and so it was really lightweight, portable, but I didn't like how the footage wasn't stable for my patrons. So that's one of the reasons why I went and reviewed the Theotech G5. I'm going to get the model number. Anyway, again, down in the description below. Just recently, B&H sent me a couple of items that I was interested in. Right over here, you can't see it, it's off camera, but I'm using a really, really old Ranger tripod. It's really compact, it's really lightweight, which is great, but it's not very stable. And the biggest thing is it doesn't, it's not very tall. And so this one has huge legs. I mean, this thing can literally put my camera about 7 foot in the air. So I've got a lot more flexibility with this one. So this is an Oben carbon fiber, so it's really light, but the legs are really, really durable. And the biggest thing is the height. I can get really, really high with this. The other cool thing is, and that one does it as well, I can release these legs right here. If you just lift up, and you can see these legs will extend down and they lock into place. So the cool thing is you can lay this on the ground and get your camera a lot lower to the ground. So that's convenient. There's also this little tab down here. I'll screw it in. But this basically allows you to add like a sandbag right here. You can attach it there. And that just kind of helps keep this stable. Another really cool thing that I like about this one, I didn't notice for a while, was on the bottom of these feet, you can twist it, and then these little spikes come out. So like if you're setting it on carpet, that's a good way to kind of add some additional stability to that. There's a level, of course, you can unscrew this and lift it up, make it higher. But the biggest thing is just the size of this, the height, definitely a much better build quality than my cheap $70 Ranger tripod. This little guy up here, and I say little, it's actually pretty awesome. This is a Manfrotto 502AH, I believe is the model for that. As Jessica mentioned, the biggest challenge that I had, and I can't show you because it's on the camera right now, or on the tripod, is when I was shooting my videos, if I wanted to, say, do a product shot of the acoustic panels here, to be able to pan straight up and down, I couldn't do it with that. That has a ball head, so you release the ball head. And the problem is the whole camera can move in whatever direction you want it. So as I tried to tilt down, it just wasn't smooth, it wasn't straight. With this, it seems kind of simple, but it's got what they call a fluid head. So this makes it just really, really, really fluid motion when I'm going up and going down. Of course, you can lock the pan left and right in the front here. So that way it doesn't really move left and right, but now it goes up and down. And as you can see, I can let go and it kind of floats, which is really cool. Over here is a tension knob, so I can loosen it. So as you can see, you know, it just moves up and down really easy. But if I tighten that, now we've got tension on it. And so it moves a lot smoother. So literally I could let go of the camera and it could kind of even do its own pan, which is really awesome. Same thing for the pan left and right. So if I release this little screw right here, I can move it left and right. So that's really loose. And then back here it says plus or minus. So I can increase the drag so that it moves a lot slower like that. Up here, I'll spin it around. Quick release plate, which is always convenient. And one thing I love about this is really cool. So when I release this quick plate right here, so imagine my camera's attached to this. This was always a big pain for me, but what I love is this actually fits exactly with my Ronin. Get it on that way. So I can have my camera on that plate, take it off there, put it on here. We can do some handheld gimbal stuff, take it back off, put it right back on the regular tripod, and we are good to go. Tighten it back down. So this thing, oh man, kind of expensive. It's a couple $100 just for the head. And then I think another couple $100 for the tripod. But again, this is an investment in my channel, something that I'm going to use continually. And this will really be nice when I go to Cedia in another month. It'll allow me to get some really, really smooth shots. So in addition to this Oben here, and actually I think I forgot to grab one, there's another one that's like this, but it's definitely a lot lower end. It's not as nice, but it's similar to this. So this one, I don't really have another tripod because it's up there, but imagine this is on a tripod. This is really geared probably for cameras, like if you're taking photography, but you could do it for videography. There's a lot of levels on here, which is cool. So you can make sure your camera is perfectly level. But the easy thing, what I love about this, unscrew that. So now I can turn that vertical. So now instead of the camera taking a horizontal, like a portrait, you can turn it vertical. And so now you're going up, or I'm sorry, horizontal would be landscape, turn it vertical, that would be portrait mode. And then you can use the levels on top to get it right and nice. Boom, just like that. And then over here, loosen that. Allows you to position that up and down. So initially I was thinking, okay, well maybe this one's a little bit cheaper. You know, this will allow me to get that up and down motion. You know, the pan or tilt actually is up and down. Pan would be left and right, kind of like that. But I thought this would be nice, but again, it's not really meant for that. That's not the intention for this. This would be much better suited for like photography. And then of course there's a quick release plate here. So you can pop your camera off, put that back in. I do like the fact that this has a locking mechanism, so you don't have to worry about your camera falling off. And so a lot of levels on here. I think there's like 5 or 6 levels. Again, so you can kind of make sure those are nice and straight. Really small tripod, so this is good. Literally, if I take my camera, put it on the ground, and I want a really low angle, so that's really what that is for. Over here on the right, I recently just picked this up. So a lot of my videos are just like this. They're not scripted, but sometimes it's really difficult, especially if I'm trying to recall product specs for you guys. And so if I'm sharing those, that's really hard to do from memory, especially if I don't know the product like in and out. And so that's where this would attach up here. My camera would slide through the back. There's a glass in the front. And then right on the bottom here is where you would place like an iPad. And so you would load some software on the iPad, basically a teleprompter software, and it allows you to display the text. So I would type it out like in a Word document, send it to the iPad, save it to that software. And one cool software that I've got for it, as you speak, it starts moving. And then if I stop talking or if I go off track, like if I have a thought and I want to say something that isn't scripted, the script doesn't keep going without me. It will actually stop until you come back and you start saying what's on the script, and then it'll start scrolling again. So I haven't really used that very much yet, but some of my videos I can see that would be a good application. And then the next thing is lighting, and then hopefully I won't forget to even talk about camera. Lighting, so we'll start here. So this one, originally I just had some really inexpensive lights. I actually bought it from China, Techno Dad. They worked out great, but you couldn't color, or you couldn't change the temperature, and you couldn't change the brightness. It was just literally on or off. So this one is a Godox SL60W. So this is a much brighter light, but I can control two things. I can control brightness and I can control the color temperature. And so that's important because in here, these lights in my ceiling are a different temperature than the lights that are here. So you can match those up and white balance them so things look white and not yellow. But having this big soft box, this right here, this big, this is a Godox, I think it's 120 centimeters, so it's massive. This typically is what we call my key light. So this light would be about right here, firing down on my seat, which is where I do a lot of my videos. Then I use two other lights. I just bought these. These are from Neewer. Relatively inexpensive. Comes with a case. Two LED lights. It comes with the stands. And the great thing about these is I can control these with the app. Actually, I'll pull it. I think I can turn it on here. So you turn it on and I can select it. I can rename it. So that one's called rear light. So that would be in the back. So I can adjust the brightness, make it dim, but I can also change colors. So these are RGB lights. So you can change the brightness, the color, and I can turn them on and off right here from the app. So these are really, really cool. So I use one of these as a fill light. So that fills the left side of my face while this big key light fills the right side of my face. And then I use another one that fills up kind of some lighting in my back row chair so that that's not really dark. And honestly, that came from a lot of you guys. You're like, man, your background is so dark, we can't even really see it, because I turn off my overhead lights and I just use these. Just allows me to get a much better picture. Let's see. So the last thing is pretty much, I've talked about everything else, I believe. You know, she mentioned this is a really old Lowepro bag. Lowepro makes some incredible gear. This thing, like she said, it's super, super durable. I literally have had this probably 10 to 15 years. It's an old bag. I even tried to find the model number. I couldn't find it online because it's that old. So I don't even think they make this particular one, but Lowepro makes some really cool camera bags. So last thing, one of the biggest upgrades I've made in my channel, other than audio and lighting, is the camera itself. So I was originally using a Nikon D7100. Takes great photography pictures, okay? Beautiful pictures. Looking back at my old videos, videography is pretty much garbage. It's trash. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Youthman. Today in this video, we'll be doing an unboxing and an initial setup of the Denon AVR X6400H Dolby Atmos receiver. And Joe and Chana have always been telling me, man, you need to look at upgrading your camera. And I'm like, I don't want to spend the money. But of course, as your channel grows, you want to improve the quality of your audio gear and your video gear. And so I looked into some different cameras, and I wanted to go with Canon because Canon has really good autofocus, and my Nikon did not. That was another thing it was garbage at. So with the Canon, again, going back to my home theater tours, when I'm moving around with this gimbal and I'm, zooming in on a product or moving away from a product, with my previous camera, it was always trying to find focus. The Canon M6 Mark II, which is what I use, native 4K, it shoots at 4K 30, well, it'll do 4K 30, it'll also do 4K 24 frames a second, which is what I typically shoot with. And then I can, if I want to get slow-mo footage, so if I want to do some B-roll shots and have slow motion, I can change the settings in the camera to 1080p and increase the frame rate to 60 frames a second. And that way I can slow it down to 50% when I'm editing. That camera has been huge in my video quality. Definitely has really great color science, really awesome autofocus. I use the Sigma, I think it's a 18 to 35 millimeter 2.8 lens. And then I use a speed booster. It's like an adapter that allows me to fit that lens onto that camera. Since my camera is not like a DSLR, it is a mirrorless camera, so it has a different kind of mount. But with that speed booster, it allows me to, if you know photography, it allows me to go from, instead of the 2.8 that the lens will allow aperture, I can stop down to 1.4. So it allows a lot more light in. So I use that. Trying to think anything else. But anyway, I mean, it's not a super high-end setup. Currently I don't use any kind of robots. I don't use any kind of sliders. Down the road, I might purchase those types of things. I may upgrade the camera. But honestly, guys, like this is way more than, not more than I need, but this is plenty for what I use it for. Again, I'm not going to prolong this video, but I've never done anything like this. So like I said, I just want to kind of give you a behind the scenes, unscripted, here's what I use in my gear. A lot of times you guys will ask, hey, what kind of camera are you using? Now I can like just point them to this video and it lets them know exactly what I'm using in my videos. Well, if you found any of this helpful, if there's anything you're interested in, like I said, I'll have links to all this equipment down in the description below. If you got any questions about any of this, camera, lighting, I'm definitely not an expert, but these are the things that I use in my YouTube channel, and it's definitely helped me to up the production value of my videos for you guys. So guys, hope you have a great week. God bless you, and we'll catch you in the next video.